Cut that.
Welcome back to another week of the Mock Project, and as promised this week we're going to delve into my office and speak to a couple of my colleagues who I work with each and every day, so I'm really excited about that. Also this week another session with the students that I'm taking away to the USA. Now I haven't spoken too much about this in the Mock Project so far, but we have 20 students from Performing and Visual Arts who myself and two other colleagues are taking away to New York, Los Angeles and San Francisco in the upcoming school holidays. So we've got a little session with them this week, so we're going to have a little bit of a look at that as well, along with all the normal teaching stuff that's going on. So let's have a look. So thanks for coming back to the Mock Project, and it's about time we saw some other people's faces except mine. This is my colleague, our Director of Music, Mr. Nick Williamson. Welcome.
Hey there, thank you very much for having me.
All 200 subscribers will be very happy to see someone else's face.
Well, I've heard a few people say as soon as I get on, it's going to triple.
Very, well, I hope it does.
Well, we'll see.
We'll see.
We'll see how we go.
Hey, why did you get into teaching?
For me, at the start, I did a music performance degree at VCA, and then at the end of that, I realised after 3 years of that degree, I realised being a performer is going to be pretty tricky to make a quid. And I wanted to eventually own a home and all that sort of stuff, and I take my hat off to all my mates out there that are still doing it.
And we've all been there.
Pubs.
Yeah. Oh, wow.
Good on you. My first round, though, I must say, I was thinking, what am I getting into here? First round, but and then got into teaching purely because, look, I'd love to be performing and making dough out of being a performer, making money out of being a performer. But I realised pretty quickly that it's gonna be hard work, and I wanted the consistent money flow. Yeah, I think we're all there. In fact, I think our whole office is people that have made that same decision, isn't it? Actors and dancers and musicians that have gone, right, we need some irregular cash flow here. Yeah, and teaching gives you that, and also you still are involved in the arts. Like I get to conduct the musicals each year. Which I love being an MD of that. I've always got an instrument in my hand, and then I'm also encouraging students to be involved in music, which is great. It's as close as you get, isn't it, to being a... I mean, we are being paid, I guess, to be performers. So. I agree. Yeah, I agree. So I really like it. Great. Now, what's the most challenging thing about teaching? Let's have a chat about that. Yeah, I think for me is not being able to do stuff that I'd like to do, like the roadblock, the idea of being roadblocked on ideas that you have, or if you want to be creative or you want to bring something new in. I think that's a slow process at times, isn't it? Yeah, totally. And getting people on board with your ideas, and I think really management is probably one of the hardest things. My easiest thing is in the classroom. That's the easiest part because I love it and I enjoy teaching, so that's the easiest. But the hardest is all that... anything outside the classroom. Yeah, really. The paperwork's easy enough, but it's that bigger picture stuff. It's the grander idea, the bigger picture, which can get frustrating and can be a challenge because I fall in that persona of someone that likes to roll the sleeves up and get things done quickly. I'm not so much the planner. I'm more the doer, and so that part of my role I find a bit frustrating. How do you react when you see a kid on the weekend or after school in a casual, like at the supermarket or shopping centre or on the train, because you catch the train? Well, how do you react? Because some teachers find it difficult. Yeah. Look, it's more difficult for the kid than it is the teacher, I find. They all of a sudden think, oh, what's this guy doing? What's he not? Why isn't he in school? And then, like, I don't live at the place. I actually have a life outside of school. So, yeah, it's more uncomfortable for the student than it is the teacher. And so I'm more than happy to have a conversation, particularly if I'm with my family. Yeah, that's right. I'm more than happy to introduce them or whatever and say, g'day, how you going? But it's more they get very orcs about it, the awkward turtle or the awkward balloon. Have you seen that one before?
No, that's awkward in itself, what you've just done there.
I know, I'm feeling a little awkward now.
I don't think I can get that image out of my brain. Thanks for having a chat with me and being on the mock project.
Thanks for having me. Subscribe. Press the link below. Subscribe.
Thanks, mate.
No worries. Good on you.
Alright, well, I'm not on Broadway yet, though it might look like it. But tonight we're having our final session with the students who are coming away to us to America for 2 weeks. These are 20 students that have nominated visual and performing arts as their study areas. They've been lucky enough that them and their parents have found some money to come away on a study tour with us for a couple of weeks. So tonight's the last session with the students. We've been trying to prepare them, get them ready for everything they're going to need to know while they're away. And we're going to meet their parents and have another session in a couple of weeks before we go. But we leave in the school holidays. So it's getting really, really exciting and we can't wait to go. Right, so Thursday night, I was going to run just a quick get to know you, put them in teams of 5, 4 teams of 5. Different year levels in each team, and just have 10 questions about America, and Liv is going to make me an A, B, C laminated sign, and it'll be multiple choice, and their group decide how to hold it up. Wow. Okay. B, A, B, C. The answer, of course, is Star Spangled Banner, which was B. So, big score update after 2 questions. 2-0 to 1.
Yeah.
Which country gifted New York the Statue of Liberty? Travel agent here, and we're very lucky that the boss of the company is coming to the presentation. He's American, and he's been very, very good with us, finding us some really sort of amazing. If you had a look at the accommodation, how good it is, because he knows it really well. So tonight is sort of our last session together, because that night could be pretty much filled up with more real technical stuff that's not going to be as exciting as tonight. So we do need to listen and share and ask questions. So let's go through. All right, we're going to continue chatting to some of my colleagues, and next to me is the wonderful Miss Olivia Mitchell. Yes, need your own applause. Now, Liv's got a great story because she was a former student here at Loyola and, well, only, 2 years ago, and has come back as a performing arts trainee, which is really exciting. What are you loving about it so far?
Honestly, I love being back. Like, that's such an unpopular opinion. Everyone's like, why are you going back? I'm like, I genuinely like this school. I think it's cool being in the staff role rather than the student role, and having all the ins and outs of like what's up and what's going on, what the gossip is and what the beef is. Like, it's great.
And so you left school and went and did a performing arts course, basically, didn't you, for a year?
I did the acting studio course at the Victorian College of the Arts, which was really good. Obviously, being in VCA was amazing. But I got to do like everything. I got to do kind of fundamentals, so like body and movement and breathing. But then I got to do like Shakespeare and contemporary and film and TV and stuff. So it's kind of just like a very broad broad course so that you can kind of get a bit of taste of everything and see what you want to do more of.
Yeah.
So yeah.
And it's a bit like, we've spoken to others about this before, but it's an industry that's difficult to break into.
So hard.
It's so, people don't understand. It's just not people on the corner saying, hey, you want to be an actor or a singer or a musician.
If they were, then that would be very bad.
So you now have come back and you're doing sort of some business art stuff with us, aren't you, that maybe you could get into the backstage?
Yeah, like I'm doing a lot of administration stuff, kind of just creating and organising and that kind of stuff. And obviously acting is what I want to do, but doing the behind the stage kind of stuff is really like vital in becoming more of a well-rounded person. But also it's just really interesting, and knowing how everything works is really beneficial.
I always find it interesting where the students, like for example with a musical or a play, they just think you can choose whatever you want and just put it on. Yeah. But you will have learned in this role like some of the conditions that we're under for everything that we do.
You're under so much stress, and you've got kids coming at you left, right and centre. It's not just, oh, we're going to pick a musical and we're just going to do it. Yeah. And that's it. There's so much going on behind that no one really, even the students don't even tend to realise.
What have you learned about teachers that you maybe didn't know before?
The staff are just, they're just people. I know that sounds awful, but like they go through the same kind of stuff as the kids. There's groups of like, not necessarily the faculty, but there's different groups, and you don't realise that they pretty much just go through all the stuff that kids do, really. And I have noticed that a lot of the staff in our office have gone above and beyond for students. Like I don't think, because obviously you don't see that unless you go to the staff member, but you don't see that there's 10, 15 people a day or a week or whatever going and asking for help, and they actually do go above and beyond, ringing people and emailing and making sure that everything's like okay for that student.
Great. Really good, Thanks for joining me on the Mock Project, and thanks for all the work that you're doing in our faculty.
Thank you.
Thanks. Well, there's another week done and dusted on the Mock Project. Thank you to everyone who has liked and subscribed. Next week is Activities Week, which essentially means all the students are out of class and either on camp doing an incursion or an excursion. So I can't wait to bring you all that footage next week on the Mock Project.